good morning to all. It is Creative Care Friday. And yes, I missed last week, but I am back this week. I'm going to tell you why I missed last week. So, it's a really bad week, y'all. Really bad. It wasn't the worst week ever, but it was pretty bad. And when I tell you why, you're going to be like, really? That wasn't the worst week ever? No. We still have to keep things in perspective, right? So, I have my coffee. Take a sip. Turn my phone on silent and put that away. Just so you know, this is what we are painting today. I have a tracer for you. It is I thought I dropped it in the chat. Yes, I did. Oh, no. There we go. There it is. So the tracer's dropped into the chat. You can grab it if you want. I'm going to go over the colors. I use a ruler for this, and you guys know I don't ever use a ruler hardly for anything. I never use a ruler unless I do. And this is the tracer you have. This is for a full sheet of paper. I am, as usual, painting in my 9x12 mixed media pad. It is this one, the Canson 9x12 mixed media. If you see, you guys, I'm going to put up a video later on, a little speedy reel. I changed out all my art for fall. It is time. Anyway, I'm going to turn you guys around. We're going to get started. We're going to chit chat. I'm going to tell you about the week I've had. Hold it together if I can. Again, this is what we are painting today. And you have a free tracer. Put this aside. All right. I'm going to change it here. There we go. All right. So, I'm just going to line this up as best I can. I do have a ruler, but I'm not using it for that. These pages are perforated, so I can just come over here and line it up with the perforation. Perforation? Yeah. And then get a piece of scrap tape that I stick to the side of my desk and put it there. And then grab my well-worn graphite paper. I can't even begin to count the amount of times I've used this. And we're going to slide it in here. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to do, I'm going to grab my ruler. This is faux wood. I need to do it like this. This is the background of this painting is faux wood. And I want my faux wood palette lines to be straight. So I am going to get my ruler onto the edge of my paper. What do I do with my pencil? I don't know. I'll grab this one. And I'm just going to come down here and do that. So I'm just getting the bottom line of the palette. Then I'm going to move my ruler. And this is more of a T-square than it is a ruler, but it works as a ruler nonetheless. You want to line this up on the straight edge on whatever side you're doing. And then I'm going to make my top line for my palette. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the vertical lines. The vertical lines don't go all the way though. And if you don't have a T-square, you don't want to use a ruler. You're like, Teresa, you never use a ruler. Why are you using a ruler? Don't use a ruler. You don't want to use a ruler? Don't use a ruler. It doesn't matter. You guys know I am so easy peasy, right? And then this one up here. Okay, I'll put this away. And I'm just going to quickly, I'm not going to put in the leaves. But I am going to trace these really fun pumpkins. And we even want these lines. If you saw my sample that I held up. I'm not tracing the leaves because if we want to, we can put the leaves wherever we want. Leaves are a great way to hide mistakes. So I'm just going to come in here with this whole thing. Yeah, leaves are a great way to hide mistakes. So say maybe we don't want the leaves there. Maybe we mess something up here and we want to put the leaves there. Leaves are a great way to hide mistakes. Add a flower, add a sunflower, add some leaves, whatever you want to do. And so that's what we have. Okay. I have out some black, white, like goldish yellow, and 2 green paints. So I have saffron yellow, Hauser medium, Hauser light, Bahama blue, dark blue for some of the accents, and then black and white. All right, let me get a clean palette. This one needs to be soaked. And we will get started. So anyway, you guys, so last week I have had cats for over 20 years. I had one cat, then a couple of years later, I adopted sisters, and then we had 3 cats. But like anything else, they get old. This is not open. They get old and break your heart. And so about 4 years ago, I lost the first one. And then 2 years ago, I lost the second one, which was one of the sisters. And then last Friday, it was time for the last cat to cross the rainbow bridge and go to kitty cat heaven. It's not like I didn't know it was coming. Good morning, Virginia. It's not like she hasn't been sick and on medication. She absolutely was. But even when you know, it's still hard to do it. I don't know if you've ever done it. I will never do it again. As fun and as a companion, I'm making a mess here with my paint. As beautiful and as a companion and how wonderful it is to have a pet, I will never, and you're hearing it here, people, I will never put myself through that heartache again. It is definitely not worth it. Sorry to say, I can't do it. I can't purposely do that. So that was Friday, and that was on top of it already being the end of summer and me already having like end of summer blues, which I get every year and always have since my kids were little and had to go back to school. They were this too short on earth. That is absolutely true. Too short on earth, forever in our hearts. It's not easy. I don't know why people choose to bring that pain on themselves. I know I'm being a little dramatic, but let me get a brush. It's not easy, you guys. So I'm going to paint. I'm going to load my brush up with this blue. This is Bahama blue. You can use any kind of light blue you want. And I'm going to pick up some white. And the top part, because this is faux wood, is going to be horizontal. So I was already suffering from back to end of summer, back to school blues, even though I don't have any children going back to school. And then the kitty cat. So Labor Day weekend, back to school, and my kitty cat. Then I guess I'm just going to cut all this off. On Wednesday, today's Friday, yeah, Wednesday. And it depends on where you live, you will understand this. Wednesday, leaving my house, 7 o'clock in the morning, not even 2 miles from my home, bam, get hit by a deer. The deer ran right into the side of my car. Right into the side of my car. Slam. Scared the living daylights out of me. It was the loudest, scariest noise. The deer ran right into my driver's side door. I could see the antlers. I could see its eye. Right into the door. I told my husband a second more or less, a fraction of a second more or less, and nothing would have happened. And he said a fraction more or less, you could have been dead. Yeah, I guess that's one other way of looking at it, because it's true. It was a big buck, smashed right into my door. The airbags went off. Scared the living daylights out of me, you guys. I didn't, for like a brief second, I didn't know what the heck happened. I was like, what? But like it all happened so fast, and I literally say a brief second because it was a brief second because it was like, what the heck? Then it was like, oh my God, deer. Then it was like, holy moly, airbags. And my car shut off. I had no power steering. I did get over to the side of the road, but I don't know why my car turned off. And I didn't really, as I was going to the side of the road, I couldn't really control going to the side of the road. It was hard. I was like, what is wrong with my steering? Then I realized that the car had turned off on impact. I guess it's a safety thing. And then the other safety thing was my phone went into emergency mode to call 911. And so I want to call my husband because my husband hadn't left for work yet. I want to call my husband, and I was literally 2 miles from my house. And my phone wanted to call 911. Not that I wouldn't have called 911. I would have called 911. But that's not the point. I want to call 911. I wanted to call my husband first. I would have called 911, but I wanted to call him right away. This way he could get up there. I knew I was going to have to wait for the police regardless, but my husband was up there in 5 minutes. He literally threw on pants. He didn't even put on any socks, put on his sneakers, and came up there. Okay, that's my background. I gotta tell you, it was the scariest thing ever. So, let's see. Let's just let this dry a little bit. My car is at the shop. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. The driver's door is crushed. The window broke, and the side airbags went off. Thank goodness it wasn't the front airbag. Those airbags, I know they're there for a reason. I know people smarter than me have invented them and created them. But I'll tell you guys, the airbag, it may have been able to save my life in a different accident. In this accident, it scared me. It hit me in the head. The car fills up with smoke because whatever releases the airbags causes them to like explode. Fill the car with smoke. So there I am. There I am. The seatbelt's got me like this. The phone's going. Dialing 911, emergency, dialing 911. I'm choking. That car's filling up with smoke. I have to like undo the seatbelt. I'm like trying to open the windows. It was crazy, crazy. But anyway, so my car is now at the, I'm not even gonna wash my brush. I'm just gonna go right into the white, and I'm gonna start filling in my pumpkins. So my car is at the body shop. The insurance company wants to total it. Body shop guy says, no way is this a total. So they wanted to make a decision based on the images that they made me send them. I had to go to the body shop. I mean, I didn't do the pictures because he doesn't want you climbing around in the back of his yard there with the smashed up cars and whatnot, which I can't blame him. But I had to go there, and it's like everything has become self-serve these days, you guys. Everything. Including having to go up to the body shop and take, I don't know how many, it was very scary, Virginia. Like if you don't live here, you don't know, but I know you live here. And so we understand. I mean, you must see dead deer on the road every once in a while. There's dead deer on my street from cars hitting them quite often. It was really scary. But anyway, so everything is self-serve. So Progressive, and I've had Progressive for years. I'm not complaining about Progressive per se. They send you this link, and then they want you to upload the pictures. I gotta put a little bit of dark blue in here because that was right there. They want you to upload the pictures. So I had to go to the body shop and then upload the pictures, whatever, the guy does it, whatever. And then the body shop, the Progressive calls me and they're like, yeah, we think it's a total loss. I'm like, what? Body shop guy said it's not a total loss. I want the car inspected. You need to send somebody out there to inspect the car in person because the guy said it's not a loss. I'm not liking the bottom of this. I might move this line down further. That's the thing I'm going to do. I'm going to come down here with this bottom part. I'm just going to do this. So I said, you need to send somebody out to inspect it because this is baloney. Everything works. I was able to, I could have driven it, but we got a tow. My husband didn't want me to drive it. Plus, when we first started it up, everything was going beep, 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 beep. It was crazy. So I'm going to let that dry and then I'm going to, let me do one coat of white first. There we go. So they're supposed to be sending someone out within a day or two, and we will see about me, whether it's going to be totaled or not. If it's totaled, it's going to be a whole nother ball of wax. Is that the saying, ball of wax? Because I never get sayings right. Okay, so I have painted the background. This Bahama blue, I mixed it with a little bit of white. It is this one. I have lines in here because this is faux wood background. So I did 2 horizontal lines, one on the top and one on the bottom, and then planks behind. And then I painted this in, and then I went back in and base coated my pumpkins in white, pretty much. And I used my dirty brush. So the pumpkins have a little bit of blue in them and a little bit of white in them. And this is what we're aiming for right now. Okay? So I'm going to put that brush in water, and I'm going to get a smaller brush so I can do my stems. So anyway, yeah, so that was the week I had. My cat, my car. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the best part. You guys, the deer kept going. The police officer shows up, he's like, where's the deer? I'm like, I don't know. He kept going. He was like, what? I'm like, yeah, totally kept going. It hit my car with like the chest and the head area, and then completely kept going. Didn't even see it. I tried to walk along, because, nobody wants to leave an injured deer. I walked along the street a little bit, on the sidewalk, there's like a little bit of a wooded area, that's, I guess, where he was going into. If you live in a rural area like we do and have deer, you understand the patterns of deer. And I have deer in my yard as well. And so in the morning, when the kids were getting ready for school, we were up early, whatever, the deer would leave down the driveway, go across the street, go into the woods, whatever their pattern was, to go and forage, whatever. And it was pretty much every morning we would see them. And then at dinner time, so they move at dawn and dusk, literally. And you'll see them out in the middle of the day sometimes, depending, whatever, but not a whole lot. And then in the evening, he was running away from the crime. Yeah, that's for sure. He took off. He's like, oh no, I'm in trouble. In the evenings, they'll head back. So in the morning when my kids get ready for school, we'll see them go one way down the driveway. And then in the evening, they come back and they go to a different area to hunker down for the night, whatever it is they do. So while I have out my brush, I'm going to start to add some little bit of detail to my faux wood. And I'm just using, this is a small round brush. I'm using very, very light pressure. And I'm just adding a little bit of detail. And this is also giving the opportunity for my white to really dry so I can come in with my leaves. So, oddly enough, this buck was out pretty late in the morning. Like even like the body shop guy was like, really? It's 7 a.m. That's pretty late for him to be moving. I'm like, I know. What the heck? Not that it's impossible. I mean, they're deer. They're natural critters. They're going to do whatever they want to do. But it was just, so the whole thing was so unusual. And I guess this is the definition of a freak accident. Because literally, a fraction of a second more, if I had forgotten something and come back in, if I had brushed my teeth a little bit longer, whatever. If I had got stopped at a light, is there any, no, there wasn't any lights between me and the accident. But if I had to wait an extra car to pull out of my corner, it's crazy. Anything, any slightest thing that would have changed the trajectory of my morning. But I know everything happens for a reason, right? I know. All right, let me put out a little dark blue. So this is a really easy and fun painting, you guys. I like the way the background is the faux wood. You only need a few colors because you don't even have to put the dark blue if you want. You can just do the yellow. I'm putting a little dark blue in here now. But you can just do the yellow and the black and white. You definitely need the black and the white and the background. So you can basically do this with black, white, and yellow and blue. Of course, you want to be careful. You want your blue to dry, your background blue, before you start adding the yellow, because blue and yellow make green, and maybe you don't want green highlights in the back of your painting. Totally up to you. So I just mentioned that. It's hard not to remember. It's not hard to forget certain things that you learned in school, for sure. And if you wanted to, you could just, I'd like to think that, God, you're okay. Yep, 100%, Virginia. You are 100% right, and that's what everybody's telling me. And I get that. I totally get that, and I'm very appreciative of that. Especially, I lost my cat last week. There was only one, Misty, also. So, like I said, it was a very, very bad week. It's been very stressful, but 100%, you definitely, hey, Carol, you definitely, and I definitely have to keep things in perspective. You are 100% right. I know that. I am, but knowing it and then doing it and being okay to do it like every second of every day for, the first 3 days, it's hard. I just want to whine and feel bad for myself. All right. So since I did these in the beginning with a dirty brush, I'm going to come back in here with my white because I want to freshen up the centers. I could have cleaned my brush before, and then the centers would have been bright white, and I would have just had the blue on the outside. It doesn't really matter if I do it this way or that way. Either way, it's going to take 2 steps, and because I was chit-chatting, I went the other way with it. So, but that is fine. I just added a little bit of blue to the corner of the one brush so I can bring in some blue. I'm freshening up the center, but I'm also brightening up the blue a little bit too. Okay, see that? Putting a little shadow on there. So I have mostly white on my brush, but then I'm picking up a little bit of blue on the one corner so I can bring in the blue shadow in the segments. Pick up white, pick up blue. Like using the liner brush, this takes a little bit of practice too, to only get the blue on the corner of the brush. But like anything else, practice makes semi-perfect, right? You know what I mean? Nothing's perfect. And it is about creating and not necessarily the finished project. There we go. So you guys know I have this newfound love for paper crafting. So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between paper crafting and painting, combining paper crafting with painting. So I'm back again for Creative Care Friday. Just telling you guys my saga. And I'm going to get a little black now. I'm using this small round brush. You can use a liner brush. You can use a detail brush. Regardless of whatever brush you're using, if you want to make nice thin lines, you want to roll the brush. Roll it, roll it, roll it. A lot of times I use this little thin brush, but you still want to roll it. So I'm laying it down and I'm rolling it. The link for this tracer is above in the comments, and so you can grab it. So I'm doing all this lines because then the leaves go on top. If you can't, and I'm having a little trouble this morning, I'm going to be honest. I'm having a little trouble with my straight line, with my long straight line. I don't know if it's the coffee. I don't know if it's because I've been stressed this week. It could be anything, all of the above, none of the above. But I'm having a little hard time keeping my hand steady. So I have put my palm on my desk. And I'm not even attempting to do it in one brush stroke. I'm doing it in little ones. You might not even notice that I'm struggling, but I am. So I just did a little bit at a time. Like ordinarily I could have done that in one swoop, but I'm not feeling it. And so I'm picking up my brush and doing a little bit at a time. And again, this is faux wood. It does not have to be perfect. We're just making the segments, like this is a plank. I've actually painted these on palettes that I built myself. Okay, and then we can put a little bit more down here. I love the pumpkins, and I love sometimes painting a little bit out of the box with the blue pumpkin. I have a pink one behind me. It's not this one, it's a different style, but it's still a pink themed pumpkin art piece. I think it's on my YouTube actually. Okay? So, what do you think? So glad you're combining your paint and oh, thank you, Pam! Yeah. Me too, actually. And Pam, I just dug out my original, what do you call it? My original business cards. And my original business cards said mixed media artist. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is 100% right. That's where the name Silhouette came from. That's why I was originally the Silhouette spot. Because when I first started this business in 2017, it was with all intents and purposes to be a mixed media artist. So my business card said mixed media artist. And then, like other things, I got away from that. And now I discovered my love for paper crafting again from my friend Serena, and I'm back. And so it's just weird how I went off the rails for a little bit. And I can't even say off the rails. I mean, it's very good. I love acrylic painting. I love helping you guys do acrylic painting. It's obviously a passion of mine. But I was reminded that I started out wanting to do mixed media, and thank you, Carol, incorporating, what do you call it? My silhouette, which I'm still going to do. I have so many ideas for my silhouette. Who has this Cricut or a silhouette? Any of you have a Cricut or a silhouette? I have a silhouette. They're the same thing, pretty much. The software's different, but they basically are the same thing. And I have so many ideas for painting and mixed media. There's not enough time in the day, y'all. There's really not enough time in the day. Again, I don't know why, but I'm struggling here with the lines. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be, I mean, you can even see. Can you see my hand shaking a little bit? But again, like I said, that could just be stress from the week. It was totally, so when, hate to dwell on this, but you guys, adrenaline is a real thing. Adrenaline definitely kicks in. And I'll tell you what, not only does adrenaline definitely kick in, I could have 100% pinpointed the time that the adrenaline left or depleted or whatever it did in my body, because I was running on adrenaline, did what I had to do, cops came, car towed, whatever, blah, 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 came back home, and literally could have got to run. Okay, Carol, bye-bye. Literally could have marked the time on my phone of when I felt the adrenaline just go and deplete. Like I was ready to just like fall out. Just be like, holy moly, done. So it's the weirdest. Well, I guess it's not weird. It's nature. You know, people, I guess you don't know it and you think it's weird until you actually experience it, which I did. But yeah, I could totally tell you exactly when. Now I'm just going over some of the black, giving a little highlight to it. Not too much. You see I'm more or less flicking my brush. I'm not tracing over the white line. I mean the black lines. I'm just adding a little bit of white here and there. Some highlight. And then a little white detail in the lines. And then we're going to go in when everything else, we're moving around. I move around so other things can dry. And we've done journals, you guys. You can take this, and I can do too, take this, shrink it up, and put it in one of your art journals. It doesn't have to be this big. You don't need one of these Canson 9x12 multimedia pads. I love them and I use them because, like I said, I have so many canvases. Here, I'll show you guys. I switched to fall today. So I got all, which is it? This side. Got all, not all, if it was all. I got a bunch of them behind me on my, this accordion folder thing that my husband made me. Oh, there's missing one over there. Where'd it go? Oh. Weirdo. Anyway, so those, and then I did my shelves up there. There's a little bit more on the top, let's see, can you see? There you go. Anyway, all right. So I have tons of canvas. I like using these books, but then let me see if I'm going to get it right. Oh, right there is a bunch. There's about 5 or 6 journals there, different journals made different ways. Kits, not kits, cereal boxes, pasta boxes, whatever. You can just do this in here. You don't need a 9x12 canvas. You don't need a book. Well, you can get this book in my in the description is my the link to my Amazon. If you buy your supplies, which we all need to buy supplies. If you buy supplies, you go to Amazon. Use my link. My link just lets you in the door. I get a little bit of commission from that. And it helps me continue to buy my own supplies and offer these videos. All right. So, I'll start painting and you'll be like, where are you? Here we go. Okay. So, we did the background in this light blue. I use Bahama blue. You can use whatever blue you want. Then, with my dirty brush, I base coated in the pumpkins so they were white, but they had a blue tint to them because I used my dirty brush. Then I did yellow for the stems, the pumpkin stems. And then we just went in and added a little bit of detail. Added some line and detail work on the horizontal planks because this is basically supposed to look like a faux wood background. And so horizontal on the bottom, top, and then outlined each piece of wood with the black. And then I went over my black lines a little bit with white. Just a little bit. Just tone them down a little bit. Give them a little bit of a highlight. And when I outlined my pumpkins, you can or don't. It's totally up to you. I like doing these little black dots. Sometimes I do more. Sometimes I do less. On this one, I did them in different spots. Totally up to you, whatever you want to do. And then you can use this tracer and do any like color scheme you want. It doesn't have to be blue. You can do it traditional. You can do the background in browns, and brown tones and tans and black for actual faux wood. And then you can do the pumpkins and oranges. Up above is the link for the free tracer. Okay, and the tracer I put down, let me grab it for you. The tracer has the leaves on it. Where is it? Okay. So, this painting has these leaves, and this tracer has these leaves. You can now come back, if this is all dry, and trace the leaves on if you want. Get out your graphite paper again, line it up, and trace it on. I don't trace the leaves in the beginning because leaves hide mistakes, you guys. So if I didn't want to have the leaves exactly where they are here, I wanted to put them a little bit different. Maybe I put my hand in my paint over here and I was like, ugh. That's where I'll put the leaf stem. Nobody needs to know, nobody cares that the leaves are right here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's no rules, there's no art police. It's all okay. So if you want to put the leaves here, if you want to put them here, totally up to you. And that's why I don't trace them. But I give you the tracer. So if you want to trace them and you feel more confident tracing them, you go right ahead. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in a few stems. This one's going up, and that one's going right off the page. I'm going to look at this a little bit, yeah. And so I find it easier when I'm doing these things to pull. So I've turned my canvas upside down. I'm starting on the edge, and I'm pulling up. Okay? And I'm going to add another one out to here. And I think, for some reason, I just want to come in here and add another one in there. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm using a medium, or it's actually a small round brush. This one is from Dread First, it's number 4. It's a fairly small round brush. You can use a small, like, 1/4-inch flat brush if you want. Up to you. And now, oh, I got paint on my cup. Let me take a sip of coffee. I'm going to dip dark green, light green. Dip, dip. I like to start at the top. And this isn't even a paint stroke. It's more of a push. I'm squashing my brush. Each leaf is coming diagonally into the stem. They make like a V. And I'm just going to keep doing that. So I'm going to dip, dip. And I'm pushing my brush. I'm just squashing it to the canvas. I'm not even using it in a brush stroke. I'm just taking it and squashing it. And then they're on a slant, a diagonal, and where they meet on the stem makes a little bit of a V. And I'm just pushing the brush. As I work my way down, I put a little bit more pressure so the leaves down here are a little bit bigger than the leaves up top. And then I'm going to skip around because I want these to dry so they look better overlapped. So again, up top, I'm doing like not so much pressure. But then as I work my way down, I'm going to move my canvas. I'm applying a little bit more pressure so my leaves are a little bit bigger at the bottom. The best place to practice is on wax paper. Grab yourself a roll of wax paper from the $1.25 tree or wherever, and practice on some wax paper. The wax paper helps your brush move really, really smooth. You don't want to fight with your brush strokes. You want your brush to move like warm butter, and the wax paper helps do that. And yes, sometimes people are like, I don't have room for more leaves. It's totally okay for them to overlap. You want your elements to overlap. You want some of your elements to go off the paper. It's totally okay. I'm starting really slow and light up here. Some of my leaves, like here, they're close together. You can't see through them. But as they come down, they get a little bit further apart, and you can see the pumpkin through them, or the white, or the blue background, whatever it is. And that's good too. You want to mix. You don't want your leaves to look like little soldiers, all lined up straight. You want them to overlap. Oh, I forgot one of the best parts, you guys. So, I was doing a lot of, this was really interesting. And I live in a very, very small town. Virginia knows, because Virginia's from Long Island. So I live in New York. Everyone thinks New York is one big giant metropolis. It is not. I live on Long Island. I live in a very, very rural area, small town. My kids graduated with, I think, 100 students in their class. I mean, there are school districts on Long Island that graduate 1,200 students in a class. I'm not one of them. We live in a very small school district. So I had my car towed to the local body shop. And the local body shop is owned by a local family. I'm just taking a little bit of white at the very tip of my round brush, and I'm going in here and I'm adding a little bit of white to the tips of my leaves, just to give them a little bit of, what do you call it? Shadow and highlight. Highlight. Oh, I couldn't remember that word. Yeah, it's not a good day. A little bit of highlight. So anyway, it was a classmate. It's a classmate of mine's. Not classmate of mine. A classmate of my kids' family. And the mom used to come to all my in-person events. Such nice people. And when I went yesterday to take the pictures, she was there. She wasn't there Wednesday because it was too early. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. She wasn't coming into work. She works in her husband's office, obviously. So she wasn't there yet. But yesterday when I went up there, it was closer to 10. I don't know what time she gets there. That's not the point of my story. But she was there. She's like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh my God, bring my car, the deer. And she said, those deer. And of course, if you live on Long Island or upstate New York or whatever, we all have a deer story. We all have a deer story. As she did. Okay, and that is it. I can take, let me just do this just for the heck of it. I can also take a little bit of this yellow. I'm going to twist my brush in it a little bit. And I can put a little bit of yellow on some of the leaves. Not all of them, just some of them. Just gives it a little bit of a different look. You guys can't really see it that well because of the camera, but I can see it. And I'm just adding the white, the yellow to the bottom part of some of the leaves. Not all of them. Yeah, that's weird. You guys can't see that. Let me see if I do that. Now you can see it. There we go. I have to change the batteries in my remote. Okay. So she had her deer story. It was nice to see her. Oh my goodness, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we all have our deer story. I was wondering if my deer showed up injured in somebody's yard, because that would be a shame. Anyway, so let me take this out. Here we go. Good morning, Creative Care Fridays. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being here with me. You can always catch the replay. The tracer link is in the description, as is my link to my Amazon shop if you need to get some of the supplies. And in my Amazon shop, I list all my favorite supplies. Supplies I actually use, have used, and like to use. It's just not willy-nilly in there. I wouldn't do that. I actually want to recommend stuff that I use, I have the best success with. And you know what? If you want to paint, you want to pursue this painting thing, grab yourself some wax tape and practice. So thank you for joining me. And I will see you guys next Friday. By the way, if you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I will be uploading a video. I'm part of a collab tonight at 5, the Take 5 collab. So there will be a playlist, and that will be available at 5 o'clock tonight. If you are subscribed to my channel, you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Thanks, everyone. I hope you all have a good weekend. I hope to have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week.